I overheard my wife whisper to her mom, "Don't worry, after the baby comes, I'll divorce him and we'll live off the alimony and child support." I didn't confront her, just quietly recorded everything and called my lawyer. What happened next, when I played that recording in court, I, 35 male, forgot my laptop at home like an idiot. Had a presentation that afternoon, needed it, turned the car around and headed back. My mother-in-law's car was in the driveway. Weird. She lived across the state and usually only visited on holidays or big occasions. Random Tuesday afternoon visit was definitely odd. Walked in through the front door, unlocked, which made sense if my mother-in-law was there. Heard voices coming from the kitchen, my wife and her mom talking low. That particular whisper volume people use when they're discussing something they don't want overheard. Something made me stop in the hallway. Maybe the tone, maybe instinct. "Mom, I don't know. What if he fights me on it?" My wife's voice froze. "Sweetie, he won't. Trust me. Men never fight when there's a baby involved. In courts, they always side with mothers. Always. But the house is in both our names now. What if?" "Exactly. Both names. You get half automatically. Plus with his salary, you're looking at serious child support. And alimony? Girl, you'll be set for life." My heart literally stopped. My wife laughed. Actually laughed. "I just feel bad sometimes. You know, he's been so excited about the baby. Reading all those parenting books, building the nursery. Stop. Don't do that to yourself. You're doing what's smart, what's best for you and my grandchild. Besides, he's boring. You've said so yourself." "He is kind of boring." "Exactly. So here's the plan. Baby comes, you take a few months to establish yourself as primary caregiver. Then you file. We'll claim he was emotionally unavailable, worked too much, whatever sounds good. Any judge will side with you. And I can move back home with you? Already cleared out your old room. We'll convert the garage into a nursery. It's perfect. You get his money, I get my daughter and grandchild nearby. Everybody wins. Except him." Her mom actually laughed at that. "He'll be fine. Men always land on their feet. He'll probably find some other woman desperate enough to marry him and start over. Meanwhile, you're living your best life on his dime." Stood there in my own hallway, listening to my pregnant wife and her mother plan out how to destroy my life like they were discussing dinner plans. Some context. We'd been married for 3 years. My wife was 6 months pregnant. We'd been trying for a baby for almost 2 years before she got pregnant. I'd been at every doctor appointment. I'd painted the nursery myself, stayed up late assembling cribs and changing tables, reading those stupid baby name books even though we'd already picked names. This baby was my whole world, and apparently the entire thing was a setup. Backed out of the house as quietly as I'd entered. Got in my car, sat in a random parking lot for who knows how long trying to process what I just heard. Then something clicked. That cold, clear feeling you get when shock turns into strategy. Drove to an electronics store. Bought 3 voice-activated recording devices. The fancy kind that are tiny and can pick up conversations from across a room. Dropped like $400 total, worth every penny. Came home at my normal time that evening. All smiles. My wife showed me some baby clothes her mom had brought. I oohed and ahed and felt like I was going to throw up. That night, after my wife went to bed, I planted the recorders. One in the kitchen, inside a decorative ceramic jar we kept on the counter. One in the living room, tucked behind some books on the shelf. One in our bedroom in my nightstand, kept the drawer cracked just enough. Called in sick to work the next morning. Told my wife I had food poisoning and needed to sleep. She bought it. I waited until she thought I was asleep, then snuck out to my car parked down the street. The recorders had live feed to an app on her phone. Her mom came over within an hour of me falling asleep. They talked for hours. Got everything. The whole plan laid out in excruciating detail. How my wife had stopped taking birth control over a year ago without telling me. How her mom had convinced her that a baby was her golden ticket. How they'd already consulted with a divorce attorney to map out the best strategy for maximum payout. They talked about me like I was an ATM with legs. He makes what? $130,000. With the child support calculator, you're looking at minimum $1,800 a month. But honestly, you could probably get $2,000 if you push. Plus alimony. He's been the sole earner, so that's another $3,000, maybe $4,000 monthly. You're set. My wife actually giggled. That's more than I ever made working. Exactly. Why work when you can just collect? What if he remarries? Doesn't matter. Child support still comes out of his check. And you get alimony until you remarry. So just don't remarry. Live your life, date whoever, just don't make it official. They literally high-fived. I heard it through my phone speaker. Felt sick. Over the next few days, I recorded everything. Hours and hours of conversations. My mother-in-law came over daily now. We talked about furniture they'd buy for my mother-in-law's house, trips they'd take, how they'd spend my money. Also started documenting finances. Pulled every bank statement from our entire marriage. I'd been the sole earner the whole time. She'd worked part-time at some boutique, making maybe $20,000 a year before quitting when she got pregnant. Then I noticed something weird in our credit card statements. Charges I didn't recognize. Looked deeper. She'd applied for credit cards in both our names, without telling me, and maxed them out. $15,000 in debt I didn't know about. Baby furniture we'd supposedly saved up for. Maternity clothes from expensive boutiques. Spa days, all of it on secret credit cards. Screenshot everything. Then I called my buddy from college. He's a family law attorney. Dude, I need to meet you, like today. This stays between us. Met him at his office after hours. Played him some of the recordings. He listened with his jaw literally hanging open. Yeah. Okay, first question. And I know this is gonna sound bad, but we need to know. Is that baby yours? That hadn't even occurred to me. The look on my face must have said it all. We need a paternity test. She's still pregnant. Non-invasive prenatal paternity test. Blood draw from her, DNA from you. Can be done after 9 weeks. She's 6 months? Easy. She'll never agree to it. She won't have to. We'll make it part of discovery once we file. He pulled out a legal pad. But here's what we're doing first. You're going to keep recording. Document everything. And don't change your behavior at all. Act normal. For how long? As long as it takes to build an airtight case. Keeping up the act was harder than I thought. Going to prenatal appointments knowing the whole thing was fake. Smiling when she talked about baby names. Pretending to be excited. The recorders kept catching gold. The lawyer said the key is to establish yourself as primary caregiver immediately. So when the baby comes, you do all the feedings, all the diaper changes. Make him feel useless. Then when you file, you can show you're the primary parent. What if he wants custody? Men never really want custody. They just say they do. Once he realizes how much work a baby is, he'll give up. Then you get full custody and maximum child support. My wife laughed. This is almost too easy. Meanwhile, she kept spending. More credit card debt. Started looking at new cars online. Sent links to her mom about SUVs she wanted. You should get him to buy you a new car before you file. Say it's for safety with the baby. Good idea. She brought it up that night at dinner. Babe, I've been thinking. My car is getting old. What if something happens when I'm driving with the baby? We should get something safer. Smiled at her. Let's wait until after the baby comes. Make sure we can afford it. She pouted but dropped it. Heard her complaining to her mom the next day. He's being cheap about the car. Doesn't matter. After you file, you can get whatever you want with the child support. My lawyer quietly filed for legal separation. Established the date, protected my assets from anything she did going forward. We're building toward the nuclear option, he explained. When we file for divorce, we're going for full protection of your assets, full exposure of her fraud, and 0 support payments. Can we actually win that? With this evidence? Yeah, we can. About a month before we were ready to file, my wife announced her mom was moving in temporarily, just to help with the last trimester and after the baby comes. I smiled through gritted teeth. Sure, babe, whatever you need. Her mom moved into our guest room that weekend. The recorder I'd planted in there caught her phone calls to friends. He's such a sucker, has no idea what's coming. My daughter's going to be living off his paycheck for the next 18 years while I get to raise my grandchild. It's perfect. She also talked to the divorce attorney she'd already hired. We're thinking emotional abuse. He works too much, doesn't pay attention to her needs. That kind of thing. Judges eat that up. They were building their case while I was building mine. My lawyer finally served the papers. Did it while I was at work so the recorders would catch her reaction. She called me within minutes, screaming. Divorce papers? Are you kidding me right now? I was calm, practiced. I think it's what's best. I'm 7 months pregnant. The papers explain everything. Explain what? That you're abandoning me? Your child? We'll work out custody arrangements. She hung up, called back from her mom's phone. More screaming, more accusations, hung up again. Got home to find half her stuff gone. She'd moved to her mom's. Perfect. Texted her, we should probably talk logistics. Her, talk to my lawyer. She already had one on retainer. They'd been ready. Her lawyer sent mine a demand letter. Wanted me out of the house, wanted temporary support, wanted all medical bills covered, wanted spousal maintenance. My lawyer sent back a counter-proposal with a request for prenatal paternity testing. Her lawyer called mine. Pissed. A paternity test? That's insulting. We're not agreeing to that. Then we'll let the court decide. We filed a motion. Judge granted it, ordered her to comply. She fought it hard. Her lawyer filed motion after motion claiming it was invasive, stressful, unnecessary. Judge wasn't having it. If paternity is disputed, we establish it now. Test is ordered. The wait for results was brutal. My lawyer called me one morning. Sitting down, just tell me, not yours. Everything stopped. What? The baby, not yours. 99.9% excluded as the biological father. Felt like I'd been hit by a truck, even though I'd suspected it. Hearing it confirmed, she was cheating on me the whole time. Looks like it. And this changes everything. She can't claim child support for a baby that isn't yours. The fraud case just got a lot stronger. My lawyer filed amended papers immediately, including the paternity results. My phone exploded. Calls from her mom, unknown numbers, blocked everything. Got one text I screenshot. That test is wrong. You are the father, and my lawyer is going to prove it. Her lawyer sent a nasty letter claiming we'd tampered with the test, that it was a legal trick, that they'd be pursuing damages. We sent back one sentence, see you at the hearing. The preliminary hearing was scheduled. My lawyer prepped me. They're going to try to paint you as the bad guy. Abandoning a pregnant woman, we're going to destroy that narrative. How? By playing the recordings. Courthouse. My wife showed up looking very pregnant and very sympathetic. Her mom beside her doing the concerned parent routine. Her lawyer looking confident. My lawyer had a laptop and a calm expression. Judge came in, reviewed the basics. Her lawyer stood up first. Your Honor, my client was abandoned without warning while 7 months pregnant. She's been living on her mother's charity. We're requesting immediate temporary support, exclusive use of the marital home, and coverage of all medical expenses. Judge looked at my lawyer. Response? Your Honor, we have extensive evidence this entire pregnancy was a premeditated fraud. We'd like to present recordings obtained legally from my client's own home. Judge raised his eyebrows. Recordings? Yes, Your Honor. Approximately 15 hours of the respondent and her mother discussing their plan to defraud my client through this pregnancy. Her lawyer jumped up. Objection. These alleged recordings were obtained without one-party consent state, my lawyer cut in. My client recorded conversations in his own home. Completely legal. Judge leaned forward. I'll hear them. My lawyer pulled out his laptop, connected it to the court sound system, hit play. My wife's voice filled the courtroom. Mom, I don't know. What if he fights me on it? Sweetie, he won't. Trust me. Men never fight when there's a baby involved. Watched the color drain from my wife's face. Her mom looked like she'd seen a ghost. My lawyer let it play. 5 minutes of the first conversation, the whole plan laid out in their own voices, then stopped it. We have many more hours of similar conversations, Your Honor. Discussing stopping birth control without my client's knowledge, planning the pregnancy deliberately, consulting with divorce attorneys before ever filing, and discussing how to maximize financial gain. The judge looked at my wife. Is this your voice? She opened her mouth. Her lawyer whispered something to her. I was just upset and venting. I didn't actually mean. Play the rest, the judge said. My lawyer played more. The parts about the golden ticket, the parts about child support calculations, the parts about me being boring and easy to manipulate. When it finished, silence. Then the judge, anything else? The paternity test results, Your Honor. Submitted them. Judge reviewed them. Looked up at my wife. Whose child is this, ma'am? My wife was crying now. It was a mistake. The marriage was difficult. I was confused. I'll ask again. Who is the biological father? I don't know. Judge sat back, looked pissed. Here's what's happening. No temporary support. Mr. He checked the papers. Stays in the marital home as it was his property prior to marriage. All joint credit cards are frozen pending investigation. We'll reconvene for final hearing to settle this properly. Your Honor. Her lawyer was on his feet. My client is about to give birth. She can stay with her mother, where, according to these recordings, she was planning to move anyway. Judge looked at my wife. Ma'am, you attempted to perpetrate fraud on this court and your husband. I suggest you think very carefully about your next moves. Gavel. Done. Walking out, her mom tried to corner me in the hallway. You destroyed her. She's pregnant and homeless because of you. She's homeless because she committed fraud, and that baby isn't mine. You're disgusting. What kind of man? The kind who doesn't appreciate being lied to for money. Have a good one. Her face went purple. Security was watching, so she couldn't do much except sputter. The aftermath was messy. Phone calls from everyone. Her family calling me horrible names. My family shocked when they heard the truth. Social media blew up with her version. Cruel husband abandons pregnant wife over false paternity test. I sent the people who mattered the actual court documents. My wife's texts ranged from apologetic to threatening. Baby, please. We can work through this. I made a mistake. My lawyer says those recordings are illegal. You're going to jail. I'll make sure everyone knows what a monster you are. Please, I'm about to have a baby. I have nowhere to go. Forwarded everything to my lawyer. Her mom sent me a handwritten letter. Some nonsense about family and how I corrupted her pure daughter with my suspicious nature. Like I'd somehow made her plan this fraud. They tried to settle before the final hearing. Offered to walk away with nothing if I'd give her a lump sum of $50,000. My lawyer, counteroffer. She takes her personal belongings and we don't press fraud charges. Her lawyer, that's insulting. That's generous. They declined. Final hearing was right after she'd given birth. She showed up looking exhausted with a newborn. Judge was not sympathetic. Ma'am, in reviewing all the evidence, the recordings, the credit card fraud, the paternity test results, this is one of the clearest cases of matrimonial fraud I've encountered. Her lawyer tried to argue she'd been coerced by her mother, that she was emotionally vulnerable, that she deserved consideration. Judge shut it down. Here's the ruling. Marriage dissolved. All premarital assets remain with original owner. The home stays with petitioner. Joint credit card debt will be divided based on who made the charges. The respondent is responsible for approximately $12,000 of the $15,000 in fraudulent charges. My wife gasped. No alimony. No child support as paternity is established with a third party. Respondent is responsible for her own legal fees, plus petitioner's legal fees of $14,000. Her lawyer was objecting. Judge overruled everything. Additionally, respondent will establish paternity of the child for purposes of seeking support from the actual biological father. But that's not this court's concern. We're Davil. My wife broke down sobbing. Her mom glared at me like I'd personally ruined their lives. My lawyer packed up. That went well. Walking out, her mom stopped me one last time. I hope you're proud. You destroyed her. She destroyed herself. I just didn't go down with her. That baby deserves a father. Then she should find the real one. How do you sleep at night? In my own house, in my own bed, without a fraudster next to me. Pretty great, actually. Her mom's face went bright red. She started to respond, but my ex went into some kind of post-birth medical thing, and they had to deal with that instead. I left through a side door. Final tally. Kept my house, retirement accounts, savings, car. Lost about $4,000 on the credit card debt that was ruled partially mine. Paid $14,000 in legal fees, $18,000 total to escape a fraudulent marriage. Could have been way worse. My ex got stuck with $12,000 in credit card debt, $14,000 in legal fees, and a baby with no father on record. Her mom's perfect plan turned into a financial nightmare. Heard she filed bankruptcy within the year. Moved back in with her mom permanently. Got a job at a call center. Her mom helps with the baby, but apparently resents it. They fight constantly, according to mutual friends. The boutique wouldn't rehire her. Small town, word got around about what she'd done. She tried suing me for emotional distress once. Her lawyer dropped her when he reviewed the case files. Therapy helped me process everything. The betrayal, the realization that my entire marriage had been a lie, the grief over a baby that was never really mine. It took time. Eventually, repainted the nursery, turned it into a home office, got a dog, started over, ran into her mom at a store once. She tried to approach. I walked away. Heard her yelling something about karma. The recordings got leaked somehow. Never found out how, but suddenly everyone knew the truth. Got apologies from people who judged me, accepted some, ignored others. My family rallied around me. My mom especially. She'd been heartbroken thinking I'd abandoned my child. When she learned the truth, she sent my ex a letter I never read but heard was brutal. Work was good, got a promotion, fresh start professionally too. Do I regret the marriage? Obviously. 3 years wasted on a lie. But I don't regret how I handled it. Recording everything, getting a lawyer, staying quiet until I had all the evidence. That saved me from 18 years of paying for someone else's kid. People said I was cruel for divorcing a pregnant woman. Those people didn't hear the recordings, didn't know about the year of planning, the deliberate pregnancy fraud, the credit card debt, the pure calculated entitlement. The hardest part was mourning the baby I thought I'd have. For 6 months I'd been excited. Read parenting books, built nursery furniture, imagined teaching a kid to ride a bike. Finding out she wasn't mine hurt differently than the betrayal. Just grief for something that never existed. But that kid has a biological father somewhere. He deserves to know. He deserves to be responsible. Not my problem. My ex tried contacting me on the kid's first birthday. Friend request with a baby picture. Don't you wish she was yours? Blocked immediately. That's the thing about entitled people. They never get it. Even after losing everything, they still think they're the victim. My ex's mom still tells people I'm a deadbeat dad. I hear about it sometimes. Don't bother correcting anyone anymore. People who matter know the truth. Been a few years now since that day I forgot my laptop. Feels like a different life. The house is all mine. My choices, my stuff. The office where the nursery was. Sometimes I'll sit there working and remember what it almost was. And I'm grateful I overheard that conversation. Grateful I was smart enough to record first and act later. Because otherwise I'd be paying thousands every month for a kid that isn't mine, to a woman who never loved me. Instead, I'm free. Healing. Moving forward. That's the real win. Not the court case or the money. It's being free from someone who saw me as nothing but a wallet. She played a game. I just played it smarter. And now I get to live my life honestly. No fraud, no lies, no schemes, just me and my future. Pretty good deal.